The blast tore through the silence of the river valley, shattering the still morning air as smoke and fire engulfed the bridge. Ukrainian forces had done the unthinkable. They had transformed a seemingly ordinary structure into a lethal trap that would cripple an entire Russian convoy. The attack was no accident. It was the result of weeks of careful observation, intelligence gathering, and precise timing that culminated in one of the most devastating ambushes of the war. The moment Russian vehicles rolled onto the bridge, their fate was sealed. What appeared to be a straightforward river crossing turned into a death zone engineered with expert precision. The exterior of the scene painted a picture of deceptive calm just before the chaos erupted. The bridge stretched over a calm, mist-covered river, surrounded by open fields and sparse woodland. For days, it seemed like a forgotten crossing point, abandoned, neglected, and quiet. Ukrainian reconnaissance drones hovered high above, invisible to the naked eye, tracking every movement of Russian units advancing toward the area. Satellite imagery had revealed the convoy's size and direction, confirming the perfect time to strike. As the first line of Russian tanks approached, Ukrainian operators locked in coordinates, waiting for the command that would ignite the sky. Within seconds, artillery shells screamed through the air, slamming directly into the leading vehicles. Flames erupted, smoke thickened, and the bridge became a burning trap. What followed was chaos on an unimaginable scale. Russian soldiers, caught off guard, attempted to turn back, but the bridge was too narrow and the fire too intense. Ukrainian precision fire targeted the rear of the convoy, boxing them in completely. Those in the middle were trapped with nowhere to go, forced to abandon their vehicles under relentless bombardment. The entire operation lasted less than 10 minutes, but in that short span, Ukraine managed to destroy more than a dozen armored vehicles, several trucks, and a key command vehicle. The sound of explosions echoed for miles, signaling another crushing blow to the Russian war effort. Inside this operation, the coordination was near flawless. Ukrainian command had worked tirelessly to ensure every unit knew its role. Intelligence agents had been monitoring Russian communication lines, intercepting plans that revealed when and where the convoy would attempt to cross. Engineers had even reinforced parts of the riverbank to funnel enemy vehicles toward the bridge. Drones provided live footage as the attack unfolded, allowing operators to adjust their artillery with pinpoint accuracy. Each shell landed exactly where it was needed, cutting off escape routes and ensuring maximum impact. This interior glimpse of the operation showed the new face of Ukrainian warfare, intelligent, efficient, and ruthless in execution. The performance of Ukraine's military assets during this operation was nothing short of remarkable. The precision of the artillery, the agility of the drones, and the timing of the strike demonstrated a level of coordination once thought impossible for a smaller force facing a larger adversary. Ukraine's forces combined old Soviet-era weaponry with modern Western systems like HIMARS and advanced drone targeting networks. The result was a seamless synergy of technology and human skill. While Russia relied on sheer numbers, Ukraine relied on brains, turning the battlefield into a chessboard where every move was deliberate and calculated. The bridge ambush was a perfect example of this evolving strategy, a strike designed not just to destroy equipment but to send a message of tactical superiority. Even the safety protocols integrated into the operation were innovative and forward-thinking. Ukrainian soldiers were never directly exposed to enemy fire. The entire ambush was coordinated from secure locations miles away from the front line. Drone operators worked from underground bunkers, artillery crews fired from concealed positions, and electronic warfare units jammed Russian communication to prevent counterstrikes. This remote-controlled style of warfare minimized risk and maximized effectiveness. Not a single Ukrainian casualty was reported, while the Russian losses were devastating. The ability to inflict such damage without endangering one's own troops underscored Ukraine's growing technological edge and strategic discipline. What made this ambush truly unique were the psychological and strategic implications it carried. The operation demonstrated that Ukraine had not only mastered modern warfare but had also learned how to manipulate the enemy's expectations. By leaving the bridge intact and seemingly unguarded, they exploited Russian overconfidence. The trap wasn't just physical, it was mental. Russian commanders believed they were pushing through a weak point, only to find themselves inside a kill zone. This shattered the morale of troops on the ground, who began to fear every crossing, every open road, every bridge that looked too quiet. For Russian soldiers, the war suddenly became more unpredictable and terrifying. The uniqueness of the ambush also lay in its execution, a perfect blend of timing, intelligence, and deception. Ukrainian engineers had carefully analyzed the bridge's structure, ensuring that when the right munitions hit, the center would collapse under the weight of the vehicles. The explosion not only destroyed the convoy but also sent wreckage plunging into the river below, blocking the route entirely. For days afterward, the site remained littered with burnt-out husks of vehicles, a grim reminder of what can happen when technology meets strategy on the battlefield. This wasn't just a tactical victory, it was a statement of dominance in an increasingly technological war. From a cost perspective, the price of this ambush was incredibly low for Ukraine compared to the losses inflicted on Russia. A few artillery shells, drone hours, and electronic warfare support were all that was needed to deliver catastrophic damage worth millions of dollars. Each Russian tank destroyed represented not just financial loss but also a strategic setback, as replacing equipment and trained personnel became harder under sanctions and stretched supply lines. The ambush effectively disrupted Russian logistics in the region, forcing them to reroute supplies and delay offensives elsewhere. For Ukraine, the operation was an example of asymmetric warfare at its finest, achieving maximum results with minimal resources. In the aftermath of the strike, reconnaissance drones captured haunting footage of the destruction. The bridge lay half-collapsed, twisted metal and shattered concrete hanging over the river. Burnt vehicles smoldered along the banks, their remains blending with the smoke rising into the sky. Ukrainian analysts later confirmed that the ambush eliminated several high-value targets, including a Russian command vehicle that was coordinating local attacks. This single blow set back Russian advances in the region by weeks, giving Ukrainian troops time to fortify nearby towns and prepare for counteroffensives. The operation also showcased Ukraine's growing mastery of intelligence-driven warfare. Every decision, from the placement of the artillery to the timing of the strike, was based on data collected through drones, satellites, and intercepted communications. This reliance on real-time information gave Ukrainian forces an edge that Russia struggled to match. The ambush became a textbook example of how information superiority can translate directly into battlefield victory. It was no longer about who had more tanks or troops, it was about who could think, plan, and act faster. The broader implications of this attack reached far beyond the battlefield. Internationally, the footage of the destroyed convoy spread rapidly, boosting Ukrainian morale and reinforcing global support. Allies praised the operation as proof that Ukrainian forces could effectively utilize Western-supplied technology. Analysts around the world dissected every frame of the ambush, calling it one of the most precise and efficient operations in the ongoing war. For Russia, however, it was a humiliating defeat, one that exposed cracks in their intelligence, planning, and over-reliance on brute force. As reports circulated, it became clear that the bridge ambush would be remembered as one of the defining moments of the conflict. It wasn't just about destroying enemy forces, it was about rewriting the rules of engagement. Ukraine had shown that even without overwhelming manpower, it could win through strategy, timing, and innovation. The message was clear: in modern warfare, intelligence and technology outweigh raw strength. Every move from this point forward would carry the shadow of that bridge, where overconfidence met its end. The performance of Ukraine's defense systems during the ambush also reflected their adaptability. They had learned to combine Western precision with local creativity, crafting an approach that was uniquely Ukrainian. The combination of foreign weapons and domestic tactics created a hybrid warfare model that continuously caught Russian forces off guard. It was a style defined by unpredictability, precision, and resilience, characteristics that have come to define Ukraine's defense in the face of overwhelming odds. In conclusion, the bridge ambush was not just another skirmish, it was a masterclass in strategic warfare. Every phase, from reconnaissance to execution, displayed intelligence, discipline, and innovation. It served as a reminder that even the mightiest armies can fall when faced with opponents who think smarter and strike faster. The bridge itself may have been reduced to rubble, but its legacy endures as a symbol of Ukraine's ingenuity and determination. The ambush redefined what it means to fight and win in the 21st century, proving that precision, patience, and preparation can turn even the simplest structure into a weapon of monumental impact. The river now flows quietly again, carrying with it the echoes of a battle that demonstrated the true power of strategy over strength. For Ukraine, this victory was not just tactical, it was psychological, symbolic, and deeply human. It told the world that no matter the odds, intelligence and courage will always find a way to triumph.